In the headlines to the CBC NewsNight, St. Lucie set for some infrastructural work aimed at attracting business. Challenges ahead for Barbados as it relates to AI, but they should not be a deterrent. The PSV body encouraging its members to obey the road traffic regulations. And in sports, another Barbadian footballer signs a professional contract.
Broadcasting from our studios in the Pine St. Michael, this is CBC NewsNight, starting now.
Good evening and welcome to the CBC NewsNight. I'm Wendy Burke. Government is set to build out St. Lucie to attract business and investment. Prime Minister Mia Motley made the announcement at the marquee event of the Gathering 2025 at Orchards Bay, St. Lucie. And Member of Parliament for St. Lucie, Peter Phillips, calls all those who have moved out of the rural parish to come along home and see how it has developed over time. Rachel Agard has that story.
Barbadian families will soon have another option for events and gatherings. Prime Minister Mia Motley is hopeful the revised and revamped Orchards Bay will be added to the nation's ecosystem of national parks. She says a few years ago, the Orchards Bay scene now was not part of the landscape.
We would want to create another space for families in Barbados, and that's why I'm so happy today to see this space. The Barbados Tourism Investment Inc. has been leading the effort to try and make it what you see here today. It's not completed fully, and I certainly want to see more of the landscaping that is suitable to this kind of rocky environment that St. Lucie has with the sea spray. And you will see us do more, just as we've done with the botanical gardens, year by year. If you're persistent and you have a goal, we can make it. And I hope that this can become part and parcel of the national park ecosystem in Barbados, so that Bajans have somewhere else to come out and breathe and be a family and to enjoy.
Member of Parliament for St. Lucie, Peter Phillips, says as far back as 2020, Prime Minister Motley pledged to revive the forgotten spot. He says people from as far as St. Philip visited with their families on the weekend and notes it will be used for major events in the future.
The Prime Minister said that she will invest, put some money into this area here and clear all the bush, everything that they call it was bare bush, and make this something that the Barbadians will be proud of, that the people of St. Lucie will be proud of in terms of development. And today, I am extremely happy. I'm overwhelmed, and I want to publicly thank you, PM, for investing in St. Lucie.
And Mr. Phillips has identified a number of other spots, including Bentham's House, as prospects in refreshing the island's tourism product.
I have identified a couple other areas which I'm going to discuss with my parliamentary colleague, the Minister of Tourism, which we can use as tourism attractions. The Harrison Point Lighthouse, which needs to be restored so that can become another attraction, because that in itself is another wonderful view. Not only here at Orchards Bay where you can look out at the ocean, but as you go to the Harrison Point Lighthouse, that is another wonderful view. So there's a lot in St. Lucie which we haven't talked about, but which we are prepared moving from this event to push.
All Barbadians have been invited to visit the northernmost parish on island to see the improvements. Rachel Agard, CBC News.
The director of the We Gathering 2025 Secretariat, Senator John King, says the first episode of the year-long initiative has been a resounding success. He says from as early as 10 a.m. on Errol Barrow Day, crowds began descending on Orchards Bay, St. Lucie. And while he acknowledges there will be some teething issues initially, he says that is par for the course.
As we get the parishes to work a little bit more, I should say closer with us in terms of what they want to execute, things will be a lot smoother. The enthusiasm and the excitement in the parishes is paramount, and that is what's happening. People are excited about We Gathering. You're always going to have your naysayers, but that's understandable. But the majority of people that I have spoken to are excited. The diaspora is excited, and people have already said to me today that they came in for this. So I'm happy. I am happy, and I'm sure that all the people who are here are happy.
Donald Walron, who is in from Montreal, Canada, is here for a family gathering, and they used the We Gathering 2025 as the climax to the event. He originally hails from Hotherstall Turning, and it is possible he will return for We Gathering in St. George.
I usually come twice a year. So last year I was here 2 times. Now I'm back here now. Maybe later in the year I'll be back again. We had a very big gathering last weekend, a few days ago. It was wonderful. All the families, about 60 of us.
Barbados has seen a rise in dangerous synthetic drugs, says Chairman of the National Council on Substance Abuse, the NCSA, Hadford Howell. He says these substances are often used alone or in combination with other legal or illicit drugs, including alcohol, prescription drugs, marijuana, and cocaine.
Mixing these synthetic substances increases the risk of addiction, aggressive behavior, crime, and overdose deaths. In Barbados, between 2021 and 2024, there have been law enforcement seizures of synthetic substances such as ecstasy and methamphetamine, and reported findings of synthetic cannabinoids. The production of synthetic substances is a major concern for first responders, including public health officials, fire service, and law enforcement personnel.
Comments came at a stakeholder meeting on new psychoactive substances and the early warning system, where it was revealed that Barbados is monitoring the recent discovery of a new psychoactive drug in Argentina. That drug's strict name is Moxie, and it is combined with xylazine, a depressant used in veterinary medicine that is not approved for human consumption. NCSA Deputy Director Troy Wickham says an international agency confirms that the Inter-American Drug Abuse Control Commission produced a report that Argentina disseminated 2 new psychoactive substances last Thursday. Wickham says that given the developments, the early warning system on new psychoactive substances has to be strengthened.
And every week, a different country is disseminating information on new psychoactive substances. These substances pose a threat to our public health, especially in small developing islands, who in many instances does not have the capacity, 1, to identify, 2, to monitor, and 3, to handle these NPS. And it's important that we share as much information as possible to combat this threat. This is not meant to be a scare tactic, but it's our reality.
Operators of public service vehicles engaging in indiscriminate parking and other negative behaviors are being called out by the Alliance Owners of Public Transport. The PSV body is urging operators to comply with road traffic rules. Ornesta Henry has more.
The practice of public service vehicles parking on the Queen Elizabeth Hospital's pasture and its environs is illegal and must come to an end. Director of Public Communications and Public Affairs with the Alliance of Owners of Public Transport, Mark Haynes, says it's a headache for law enforcement officials and members of the public. He says that the PSVs should only be parked in the Constitution River terminal.
The workers use it as a hub. It is not right. First of all, that area is a silent zone. Secondly, the hospital is there with sick patients or people en route to the hospital. Consider some of your relatives or friends en route to the hospital in an ambulance, en route to the hospital. There should be nobody should obscure the vision of any ambulance, obscure or have any and the area should not be impeded. There must be a free flow so that traffic, the ambulances, the police, whomever, can travel there without having the place blocked up and so on.
Mr. Haynes says AOPT understands some operators use the trees on the pasture as a spot to have a meal and take a rest. However, he says it's wrong for PSVs to be parked on the field or anywhere in the vicinity of the hospital for extended periods.
As the guys go in the afternoon to let's say, have a little lunch and move off on the street and move as quickly as you've eaten. Just get off there and go. I don't think I will kill anybody for that. What I do not like is that workers go there and assemble out there and use that as their hub. So when they are the noise and the sound of the hospital, that is a silent zone. So we have to be compassionate. We have to have sympathy and empathy. We have to understand that we must not do things to offend whomever or to offend the general public. Moreover, those sick people in the hospital should not have excessive noise on the roads and blowing your horns and blocking up the traffic and all of that. That is a no-no.
Noting that AOPT continues to receive complaints regarding the behavior of PSV operators on the roads, Mr. Haynes is asking drivers and conductors to obey road traffic rules at all times.
Why would you only comply when members of the Barbados Police Service are there? But when the members of the Barbados Police Service have left, you've gone back doing that foolishness. Think about it. Do some introspection. Think about the island in which you and I reside.
The Constitution River Terminal, completed at an estimated cost of $3.2 million, was opened in May 2018 in response to an outcry from PSV operators for improved facilities. Onesta Henry, CBC News.
Coming up, preparing for AI, we'll tell you about her suggested approach. Barbadians are being asked to approach artificial intelligence with an open and positive mindset. However, Minister in the Ministry of Economic Affairs and Investment, Senator Chad Blackman, admits there will be challenges ahead, but wants everyone to embrace AI. He was speaking during a panel discussion on the opening of the FinTech Islands Experience 2025 conference at the Wyndham Grand Barbados Sam Lords Castle Resort today. Trevor Thorpe was at the conference and filed this report.
Starting to deal with AI is the key as stakeholders move to tackle challenges, as there could be some dislocation of jobs necessitating repositioning in the development process going forward. Minister in the Ministry of Economic Affairs and Investment, Senator Chad Blackman, says with all that, you have to prepare the people and the country for global business.
But it has to be not just the Ministry of Education, for example, looking at that. It must be a combination of the Ministry of Education, the Ministry of Labour, Ministry of Economic Development, because why? You're trying to now prepare your country and your economy for the future of global work, future of global business. And therefore, in this moving landscape, balancing regulation, but also with the opportunity, because one of the things you don't want to do in any particular jurisdiction is to crowd away investment and to crowd away innovation and to run away all these different things.
However, Minister Blackman cautions. He says, should challenges occur, sovereign governments should step in.
I personally don't see AI as some bogeyman that we must run from. I actually think we must embrace it, bearing in mind that there may be challenges here, but you tweak like any new thing. The internet has good and bad things, but we certainly can't live without the internet.
The minister says Barbados and the Caribbean are on a platinum mine, and the skill sets of the people, coupled with AI, could save the brain drain.
Our people get very good jobs around the world, okay, because of our certifications. But there are global challenges that we must now use Barbados as an anchor for, turning that high level of knowledge that we have into businesses and into global solutions. So traditionally, people would go and study medicine to be a doctor. But why not study medicine in addition to being a doctor and turn that idea of the knowledge that you have from medicine in trying to treat major solutions and problems rather around the world? And going back to your point, if we can then do that and scale that across the Caribbean, where everything that you can conceive becomes now a business opportunity. So it's from idea to business, and then you scale it, there will be no need for a brain drain.
The FinTech Experience 2025 will go into its second day at the Wyndham Grand Barbados Sam Lords Castle Resort tomorrow. Trevor Thorne, CBC News.
The Consumer Protection Act prohibits misleading pricing representations, which include unclear or undisclosed pricing. And according to the Barbados Consumer Empowerment Network's Executive Director, Maureen Holder, there are too many complaints about pricing. She says that consumers should be aware that any form of pricing representation, whether explicit or implied, falls under the Act's purview.
If consumers encounter pricing violations, they should report them to Consumer Affairs or the Fair Trading Commission. Consumers have the right to fair trade practices, and retailers must uphold their duty to ensure pricing is accurate, transparent, and visible at all times. The question that one could ask is why price display matters. Proper pricing displays ensure that consumers can make informed decisions before purchasing. It's really all about transparency.
Opposition leader Ralph Thorne focused on social issues as he delivered the Arrow Memorial Lecture at the Arrow Center for Creative Imagination at the UWI Cave Hill campus. Opposition leader Ralph Thorne says there's several reasons why a number of things are going wrong in Barbados. Among them, he says, is a pall of fear across the society.
It is this general climate of fear that results in a loss of trust and further undermines the efforts of the police to resolve the scourge of violent crime. The state's social welfare agencies appear to be under severe stress and are demoralized by this loss of public trust that extends to their offices. The unhappy result is disengagement of many citizens from public events sponsored by the state. No amount of money, therefore, will rescue the credibility of such events as we gather in if the public believes that state funds are being expended to further the narrow electoral interests of the party in government.
Mr. Thorne adds there seems to be a lost path and the father of independence would not have done this.
The government has given renewed meaning to the cliche of having lost its way. Mr. Barrow and his government presided with wisdom and discipline over the society, and the historical evidence of sage policy suggests that they would have done things differently.
A number of DLP members were rewarded for their contributions to the party, with the presentation done by former Prime Minister Frontdale Stewart. And it's time to say goodnight to Damien Bess in the Sports Center. Seems our footballers are doing a lot.
Yeah, definitely, Wendy. Good evening to you. Good evening to our viewers and listeners. Here are the details. It's a done deal. Barbadian forward Nadre Butcher has signed a professional contract with Portuguese football club Real Sport Club. The 20-year-old will now take his talents to the third tier of football in Portugal after his visa was approved. Butcher is expected to fly to Europe next week to complete a 2-year agreement until 2027. The move comes after Butcher joined Irish club Bray Wanderers in July of 2023, following a short stint in Germany at SBVG Solingen-Wald 03. For Barbados, the former Weymouth Wales player has made 22 appearances for the senior national team, scoring a lone goal versus Grenada in an international friendly match at the Karani James Stadium. We wish him all the very best. Staying with football, Whitehall Football Club are the champions of the Young Kings Under-15 Indoor Futsal Tournament after they blanked Eden Stars in a keenly contested final last night. Playing at the Barbados Community College Gym, Denari Griffith scored 5 goals in a 6-3 demolition.
After battling for an entire day, it's down to the final of the Young Kings of the Court Futsal Tournament. BCC Gym the venue, Eden Stars versus Whitehall in the blue. Let's get into it. 5 versus 5 and lots of skill required in close quarters. Rosario Roach sets himself on the right side, nutmegs the defender in the process. Keeper can do nothing. That's 1-0. More to come. Roach this time playing service provider from the kick-in. And Denari Griffith drills it into the right pocket. 2-0. Eden Stars would cut into that advantage after a stiff challenge by Javante Ward, who says, I'll have a go. Left foot, devastating. 2-1. A defensive blunder by Whitehall would give Ward his brace on a silver platter. Perfect technique, punishing. We're all square at 2 apiece. The supporters loving it. 6 goals were scored in the first half, which is usually 20 minutes apiece in futsal. Pocket pick by Whitehall and a golden chance. You better believe it. Goalkeeper beaten at near post. 3-2. And Griffith would get his hat trick. Minutes later, 2v1. Side-footed with authority. 4-2 then at halftime in favor of Whitehall. Second half change of ends. Eden Stars slow to transition to defense. And look who's on the doorstep. He can do no wrong. Griffith with his 4th. to make it 5-2. With time against them, Eden Stars needed an answer. Amari Small left unattended at the doorstep. He should not and does not miss. 5-3 now. But it was Griffith, the top marksman of the tournament, to seal the deal after this fall in a dangerous position. Griffith, better than Cole Palmer, freezing really, his 12th of the tournament and 5th of the game as Whitehall win big, 6-3 over Eden Stars to take the title.
A cohesive bowling performance powered Bangladesh women to a 60-run victory over West Indies women, levelling their ODI series in a low-scoring match yesterday at Warner Park in St Kitts. Sent into bat, as we reported yesterday, Bangladesh struggled to post 184 in 48.5 overs, with captain Najar Sultan anchoring the innings with a gritty 68. Karishma Ramharak was the pick of the bowlers for the Windies, with figures of 4 for 33, while Aliyah Aline took 3 for 24. Now, in reply, Bangladesh dismissed the Windies for a paltry 124 as they moved to within one win of qualifying for the ICC Women's World Cup in India later this year. Shemaine Campbell and Sherianne Fraser were the only two West Indies batters to get into double figures, scoring 28 and 18 runs respectively. Well, the third and final ODI is set for Friday at Warner Park. Well, West Indies captain, this is the men now, Craig Brathwaite is hoping for a better all-round performance from the regional side in the second test against Pakistan. The Windies were defeated inside 3 days, going down by 127 runs to the hosts in the first test in Multan. Brathwaite believes the Windies can turn their fortunes around in the second match. And that second match starts on Saturday also in Multan. We're going to pause here, Wendy, and come back a bit later on with some track and field news.
Thank you so much, Damien. Up next on CBC's Newsnight, the Business Report.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
In tonight's business, a move to unite beverage companies in the Caribbean is on the cards. That's the thinking behind an agreement by COSCAB Holdings Limited, a subsidiary of the CocaCola Bottling Company, to acquire Banks Holdings Limited and the St. Vincent Brewery Limited and other Coca-Cola entities. COSCAB's General Manager Andre Thomas said the decision is a natural progression following their role as the distribution and commercial co-venturer with Banks Holdings since 2018. He said the acquisition will yield outcomes for all the parties involved, as their world-class expertise in the beverage sector will help exceed consumer expectations. Country head of Banks Holdings and St. Vincent Brewery Limited, Shafia London, while expressing confidence in COSCAB's ability to elevate the combined businesses, said customers will continue to enjoy the same offerings from the companies and gave details.
The goal of the transaction is to enhance operations and create opportunities for growth under COSCAB's leadership. The iconic brands under BHL, such as Banks, Deputy, and Pine Hill, will remain unchanged. The transaction focuses on strengthening future growth and market presence. This reunification of the companies provides an opportunity to streamline operations, improve efficiencies, and enhance the growth potential for the iconic brands of BHL, ensuring stronger alignment with market demands and improved customer service.
The company official said COSCAB is dedicated to enhancing local and regional commercial operations.
We have complete confidence in COSCAB's ability to elevate the combined businesses to new heights. The company's culture and leadership will remain consistent with our current values and commitments at BHL. COSCAB's alignment with regional priorities ensures a smooth transition without disrupting our operations.
The initiative is subject to regulatory approval. A night to recognize dedication and commitment. The revelation from Senior Manager Commercial at Roberts Manufacturing and Pinnacle Feeds, Paris-Ann Roden-Gordon, as she delivered remarks at the recently held award ceremony of the Spot the Bus and Pinnacle Distributors competition at the States Visitor Center. In a wide-ranging speech and before presenting prizes, she told the gathering it was also a night to honor loyalty and to celebrate the company's 80 years of service to the Barbadian society.
8 decades, right, which is no easy feat, of hard work, dedication, and commitment. And that has brought us to where we are today. A company built on not just our products, but also built on the people who believe in us, which is our distributors and our consumers. And that's why we're here. So to our consumers, you are the heartbeat of what we do, everything that we do, and your trust in our products have been the driving force to where we are. So the promotion was our way of including, our consumers into our 80th year anniversary, and to just have that gratitude for our consumers.
We take a look now at how stocks traded locally and regionally.
Trans-Jamaican Highway Limited, with 8,989,728 units, was the volume leader, followed by Radio Jamaica Limited and Victon Energy Limited. In Trinidad and Tobago, NCB Financial Group Limited was the volume leader, with 185,900 shares changing hands for a value of Trinidad and Tobago $444,301, followed by Massey Holdings Limited. And here in Barbados, One Caribbean Media Limited was the sole security, trading 12,500 shares at Barbados $1.49 each.
And that's business. We'll take a break and be back with the weather. And we say good evening to Carrie Ann O'Neill to find out what the weather is going to be like going into this evening and tomorrow.
Well, good evening to you, Wendy, and good evening, everyone. The high-pressure system was our dominant feature today. As a result, we had mostly dry conditions. The winds are quite brisk across the region, and the seas, they remain choppy. We do have that small craft warning and high surf advisory in effect. Now, the maximum temperature today was 30 degrees Celsius, the minimum 25 degrees. At present, the temperature stands at 26 degrees Celsius. The relative humidity 74%. The winds are coming in from the east. We take a look now at some atmospheric conditions across the region, where the temperatures are ranging from 24 to 27 degrees Celsius. The humidity shows moisture is building across a number of the islands, and the winds, they are moderate to brisk across the region. We take a look now at our satellite feed, where the high-pressure system dominated for us here in Barbados. We had mostly dry conditions. Now, there's a shear line maintaining wet conditions across the leewards as well as the northern windwards. The seas at this time, they're moderate to rough in open water, with swells peaking at 3.5 meters. We do have a small craft warning as well as high surf advisory in effect. Now, later on tonight, we are expecting that the high-pressure system will continue to dominate. We can expect mostly clear skies, along with just a few isolated showers. Further south, convergence maintained some showers across the Guianas. And over now in the Western Caribbean, a cold front maintained wet conditions across northern Bahamas. Elsewhere came onto the ridge. They had mostly dry and stable conditions. Well, that's our first look at the weather. After the break, we'll have the forecast. Welcome back. In the forecast for tomorrow, the sun is expected to rise at 6:25 and will set at 5:55. High tide is expected at 10:33 in the morning, the first low at 3:50 in the early morning. Now, those seas moderate to rough in open water, with swells peaking at 3.5 meters. We do have that small craft warning as well as high surf advisory in effect. The winds are coming in from the east and they're peaking at 45 kilometers per hour. Plus, here in Barbados tonight, the high-pressure system will continue to dominate. We can expect mostly clear skies, along with a few isolated showers. And over the next 3 days, a shear line will maintain some showers tomorrow in Barbados. Thereafter, we are expecting mostly fair skies, along with just a few passing showers.
And we welcome back Damien in the Sports Center, and he's promised us athletics.
Thanks so much, Wendy. Indeed, Red House prevailed and reigned supreme when the Wesley Hall Junior School held its annual sports day at the Usain Bolt complex. Red amassed 662 points to beat out a yellow and blue house, with green in fourth. CBC's Anne-Mar Goodrich-Boyce reports.
It was a party-like atmosphere over at the Usain Bolt Sports Complex for Wesley Hall's Inter-House Sports Day. The most exciting races are always the 100-meter events. So let's start with the under-9 girls. Focus your attention on lane 2. That's Jamira Waif of Yellow House, dismissing the field to win in 16.76 seconds. Afia Wilson of Blue was second, 18.53, and Zosonia Allen of Red third, 18.68. Boys equivalent up next, pretty close at this stage, who will emerge as the winner. Zahir Adams with arms and legs pumping prevails in 16.24 seconds. Mihail Lynch of Blue was second, 16.94, and Kazari Jordan of Yellow third. Under 11 girls, 100 meter now, 50 meters to go, and Ariel Worrell is in full control of this one. She clocked 16.75 for the victory, ahead of Kalia Herwood of Green, 17.13, and Janique Felix third, 17.43. Under 11 boys followed, midway stage, anyone's race, before Shakir Nurse triumphed in 15.88 seconds. Sedan Hines was second in 15.89, with Deshante Haynes third. Two of the big girls who will be crowned as the fastest at Wesley Hall. And the head girl, Sanaya Vanterpool, leads by example, running away as the champion. 15.88 was her time. Eskrian Watson of Blue was second, 17.13, and Acacia Rowe of Red third, 17.34. Under 13 boys to finish off proceedings, the most anticipated race at any sports day, determining the fastest schoolboy. Jermaine Carr was like his name and motoring down the track, and eventually wins in 14.27 seconds. He edged Cristiano McConney of Red in 14.28, and Marcio Evelyn King was third in 15.84 seconds. Anne-Mar Goodrich-Boyce, CBC Sports.
Meanwhile, the athletes from Greenhouse are once again Inter-House sports champions at the Wilkie Cumberbatch Primary School. Green totaled 745 points for victory at the Kickstart Rush playing field, ahead of Yellow second with 712. Blue finished third, scoring 607, and Red fourth, 573 points. Again, Anmar reports.
A big crowd was on hand for the annual Inter-House Sports Day, featuring the athletes from the Wilkie Cumberbatch Primary. We were present for the 200-meter sprint events, and our cameras received sweet treats. Under 13 girls is where we begin our highlights reel. This is already a done deal. The race is on for second because Nyla Fitzpatrick Blackman has wrapped up first place for Greenhouse. Jalea Griffith of Red was second, and Alana Lashley Cox third. The boys followed after, and just like the girls, it was one-way traffic. Skip ahead to the final 100 meters and look at the composure stride pattern of Jelani Phillips, putting all the daylight in the world between himself and the other competitors. His housemate Shakiri Lee caught up second, and O'Shea Gibson Wallins of Yellow came third. Under 11 girls now, 100 meters to go, and Kaylee Howard Jones was in the zone all alone, and like a flash of lightning, now you see her, then you don't. Itage Isak Griffith was the runner-up, and Kyra Payne finished third. We end with the under 11 boys, where Richard Topping Wilkinson was in charge. No one will catch him today. He finished ahead of Johnny Williams and Negus Matthews. The next stop is Knapsack. Anmar Goodrich-Boyce, CBC Sports.
Yeah, thanks, Anmar. Finally, Show the Money did just that, with jockey Rashid Hughes on board to win the Ocean Hotels Trophy Handicap at the Garrison Savannah recently. It was the feature of the South Coast Hotels and Resorts of Barbados race day.
to a perfect line, and on the inside is Show the Money. Next to it is Renee. Then comes Major Dan. On the outside, Lightning Lewis, and just dropping away now is Beja Azteca. That's the way they race as they begin the journey down the back stretch with just about 4 furlongs left to travel. And it is Renee in front now by about a length and a half. Make that 2. In second is Lightning Lewis. Third goes to Show the Money. Then comes Major Dan. Beja Azteca now finds her feet and now moves on well and closes the ground as they race now just as they go towards the quarter pole. And it is Renee still in front. Lightning Lewis is in second position. Show the Money is getting ever closer. Beja Azteca just sweeps on by, and Major Dan will have quite a bit of work now to do as they race with just about a furlong and a half to go. And Lightning Lewis is going to bring them to the judge in front. Now on the outside here comes Show the Money. Getting a let in through is Renee again. But it's Lightning Lewis. Show the Money is coming with every stride. And down the stretch they come. And it's Show the Money and Lightning Lewis. Show the Money. Show me. Show the Money. Let me see it. Yes, he does.
And that's it for sports tonight. Wendy, it is back over to you.
Thank you so much, Damien. We'll return after the break. Thanks for viewing, and do enjoy the rest of your evening.